first half, we've got in a second.
It's a poem in the spirit of the time of year. Anyone might think that the werewolf of today doesn't care about the pleasantries of life. But this is untrue. Werewolves are well bred. Teeth must be brushed, gums a juicy scarlet, nostrils wet and black, claws sharp as a shark's tooth, yellow as a bull's horn, clean as a whistle, tongue dripping lots of clear saliva, and eyebrows smooth, black, crescent moons. And another thing, people say werewolves must be smelly. Not a bit of it. They wash before meals, they're spotless behind the ears, and because they're part French, they use a bidet. Another little known fact is that they shave off unsightly underarm hair and use a deodorant. Why do they do this? You wouldn't want a victim to feel let down, frustrated at having their throat torn out by a mangy werewolf, would you? Imagine your dying screams of ecstatic terror ruined by revulsion. Dirty nostrils, less than 100% bristly fur, laughter, pity. I'm going to eat an architect. Are you an architect?
Yes.
Werewolf finds it rather difficult to become naked. The most basic animal in the universe. The one. Basic form, just a core. One of the diaspora. Soldier on, soldier one. One, 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 one. One breaks open the crust of Mother Earth, comes out and breathes and sees a beautiful cloud. In the cloud, a vision of God. A thrush, not seeing the cloud nor God, probably atheist, eats him. Eats him. This vision-seeing martyr one, saintly W, now lives in heaven. The worm was merely a tool, the thrush was merely a tool in the worm's radiant flight when the thrush eventually fell out of its tree. No crown of gold, no heavenly chorus, only a brown table and 15 hungry worms. And Fadun of Galzana took tea with the Emperor Quas, and together they discussed how best to persecute the Celts. Fadun, later riding home, was assailed by abdominal pains, fell down in the woods. Dead. Pathology revealed his insides were full of worms. All of these were buried alive, save one, who claimed to have been the Emperor Justinian in a previous life. It was purple, crowned at each end with bands of gold, had 80 legs, dined on laurel leaves, enjoyed baths of alternating hot and cold, and knew the composition of roads, and spoke exceptional Latin. But envious vizier fed it to the royal eagle, Rock, who in a previous existence had been a mere pyramid builder in the dynasty of Cheops, thus fulfilling an ancient prophecy of Pythagoras. Thy highest creatures shall be as 11's is in the next alive. Good evening, listeners. Transplant now. In which we explore the frontiers of microsurgery. Yes. For many years now, as some of you may know, I have been very interested in the notion of vegetable transplants. Oh, you say, yes, this is true. And my particular field at the moment is cabbage. How did this start, you ask? Well, I noticed from personal experience that a thoroughly dirty scalp makes excellent soil for mushrooms. So I wondered whether it would also work for other crops. So I planted just an acre of cabbages. People laugh at me. Ha ha ha, I say. I had a fine crop of green where once I was born. I'm sheltered from the sun and make good use of the rain. And when it is windy, my fine leaves rustle comforting music in my ears. And at 20 pence a cabbage, my harvest will be worth £748. What then, you ask? Lie fallow for a while? Goodness me, no. I tend to rotate my head. Then, to the left, potatoes and cauliflowers. To the right, 2 acres of leeks. After that crop, off to Greece for a couple of months, cultivating vineyards on the slopes and olives on the plateau. Do I still do mushrooms on the side, you're wondering? Yes, of course. My ear holes are active all year round. Delicious. If any of you would be interested in cultivating your own cerebral talents, lines are open now, and the number is OI, if you're outside Nottingham, OI7, OIU6, 5, OI, what do you think? Thank you for listening, and good night. Good evening, fellow cyclists here tonight. We British had a lean slice of the market recently, so rally boffins put their heads together and came up with this elegant machine, which has the feather lightness of the Claude Butler, the rude strength of the mighty fox, aerodynamic, it's 38 gears, alloy everywhere, and totally indestructible. The ultimate folding bike, the ultimate folding bicycle. Brakes fold into the handlebars. 1/4 turn on the headbolt, they drop inward. Internal flexing facilitates folding towards the stem, into which they lock, and which slides into the chest tube. The seat rolls and slides into the seat stem, which slides into the frame hip. the wheels unzip, fold into the forks, 1 into the chest tube, and 2 released at the ankle into the hip. The gears condense in sequence, forming 1 notched cog. The chain winds around the cog and slides into the trapezoidal section conical cavity formed when the pedals, cranks, drive wheel and cotters are released by this grommet, enabling springs to draw them all into the axle box. So now, we have the handlebars, the front wheel within the forks in the chest tube. The seat, rear forks and wheel are in the hip. The drive mechanisms are in the axle box. All we have to do now is to telescope the frame. As you can see, it is a small but untidy package until we fold it. And it stows away neatly inside, you've guessed it, the crank grommet we removed, which slides inconspicuously into my nostril. I think we have a world beater. This is a dark and ancient place, the introduction all history. I mapped out the mighty name, the lofty forms, qu'essoise, foot and volute, the introduction of all history. Oh, magnificent. Oh, oh! Oh, kiss me, Gladys. What's this? Ain't this the very spot where sweet St. Douglas, patron saint of Dealer, died? Altar, yes. Rood screen, apse, and crimson altar floor. Oh, blessed spot. Oh. Dance the scholars and sing the bilged bladders. For fathom 5 thy father alives, of his teeth are coral made, limb is toward Barney, knave open nay, smooth. Oh, What do you think, Dad?
Love it, darling.
Love it.
Divine, my cherub.
Where do you think things should go now? Well, I think the kitchen where that dirty old wine-sot bar is downstairs. And yes. And the kiddies' room over there in Pink and Birdie's, and the guest room over here. Yes, and I think we'll have, let's see, we'll have the master bedroom in the chancel. Yes, and I think there's a bed. And we'll have, let's see, we'll have the billiards and the barbecue in the veranda in the west chancel. Or was it the east one? I can't remember.